Whoa! And I can't escape snakes on my drive home. All right, well, there you go. First target of the trip. Real bad. Oh, no. Okay, back here. They're really, really nice looking. What a beautiful snake. What's up, guys? Welcome back to a new field trip in Thailand. Right now, I'm in a province I've never herped in before. I've driven through it maybe 1,000,000 times. We're in Champon, and we're down south doing a kind of long limestone focused trip, looking for some rare kukris and some slightly less rare vipers. The place we're staying in is actually called Love You. A little bit moggus for me and Harry to be checking into the same room here, but the place honestly looks quite nice, and I'm really excited to get out into the field. You know, targeting rare snakes it's a grind, but it's something I'm really built for. I'm really built for this. This is where I flourish, and I can't wait to get out there and start hitting the field hard. Without further ado, let's grab some dinner and let's get to it. Our car, freshly clean, looking suave here, ready to go. What the pissy ras? Where did that guy come from? Literally spawned in. Go away. Shoot. All right, we have arrived at the limestone bluffs. Cool little elephant statue over there, and obviously we're in the grounds of a temple, so there's a lot of barking dogs. I can see some big tokay gecko eye shine up on the tree in those rafters. Let's get focused, let's get going, see what we can find. Here's the nice look at the endemic gecko to this area. Really pretty bent-toed gecko, this one. Slender with the banded tail, but not that typical banded body. This one real nice looking. There's so many of these running around, and the species we're after eats their eggs, so it's a good sign. I love like rocky biotopes. It's really like my favorite places to search. It's so cool, especially seeing all the trees growing on these steep cliff faces. All right, let's find some snakes, full focus. Next reptile species encountered tonight is this lovely Eutropis macularia with the bright orange chin. It's really pretty. Otherwise, it's kind of just a small brown skink, but you guys know I'm a big fan of these, so always nice to see macularia running around. Let's let him go back to his business. All right, well, there you go. First target of the trip. I'm not going to get too close because I want to be able to take it in situ, but right in the grounds of the temple, there is the Champon clade CF venustus. Very likely an undescribed species, sitting there looking beautiful. I'm going to grab my camera and get a pic. All right, I took a couple in situ photos so I can take the risk of disturbing it and getting closer now. I'll be a bit harder to hear now that I've used the zoomed in feature, but yeah, really nice banding, super intense banding. That's what I remember about seeing pictures of this species. It's got very like close together sort of dark brown, reddish brown and green bands. And this one definitely the green bands, although maybe it's not showing it right now, more on the paler side than darker side of green. So really cool in situ here. Like I walked around this limestone karst formation for a while looking in like good habitat, just came down to this like crappy area and it's right there sitting against the wall. Really pleasant surprise. Got the kind of endemic viper to this area straight away off the bat, and now we can focus on the slightly rarer targets. And I don't think I'm going to disturb this guy, honestly. It looks so nice here. I'm just going to leave it in situ, leave it be, take some more in situ photos because it's such a good look. And yeah, I'll be on my way looking for some more snakes, but great to see this one. Very good. I called Harry down to take a look, and as I was walking around like a few meters away, got a second one. You see it down there, much less vibrantly colored, possibly a male. This one looks a lot skinnier. This one's already moving along the ground, so we're probably going to pick this one up on a little twig or a hook and take a closer look. Right, there we go. Now this one okay, yeah, this one way darker than the one we were just working with. Hold on, let me switch onto the filming light. You got a nice warmer light, and honestly I can't really tell any superficial difference between the two in terms of distinguishing male from female, other than this one is a lot duller and a lot more slender, which may imply male. I would assume by that head a little bit more slender and pointed, probably a male. But yeah, I looked around for these everywhere up on the karst for about, well, probably over an hour. then came down to the bottom, this crappy little like area next to the temple, all disturbed with buildings, and 2 in the space of 2 meters from each other. Pretty cool. All right, let's move on to a new spot. Keep looking. All right, just got a little Nemasvis gecko here. One of these day geckos, or oh look, just spotted in the background. Different gecko. But yeah, first one I've seen around this karst formation. Wouldn't be surprised if this one was endemic to this area, but it just looks like the typical one in the Siamensis chenardii complex to me, but nice. All right, we switched up quickly to a new spot, only like a couple minutes away. Supposedly there's a cave around here. This may be a trail in, so we're gonna get searching and see if we can discover this cave, and when we do, we'll have a look inside. Harry checked out the cave at the last spot. I didn't go inside, but there was nothing inside it, so I'll definitely go inside this one though. Ooh, writing. Interesting. This must be a claustrophobic person's worst nightmare, but I'm just kind of working my way through these narrow tunnels, checking every nook and cranny, just looking in all the crevices. That's what I think the best shot is. Unfortunately, can't get into there without too much effort, so I'm gonna stick to the main path. Just spotted our second snake of the night, or second species rather, of the night amongst these rocks here. Not the most exciting one, unfortunately. A very common species. Oh, where's the light gone? There it is. A very common species. But I don't think it's one we filmed in freaking ages. Plus, you can see at the neck, it's a southern form actually. A very, very pink nuptial marking there on this one. Of course, the snake is Parius margaritiforus. Sorry for not saying that already. And I'm going to try and pick it up without getting absolutely stanked. All right, guys, here goes nothing. Trying to really gently pick it up so it doesn't get overly threatened and start stanking. Because these boys can start stanking the place out real bad. Oh, no. Okay, back here. Okay, calm down. Really chunky one, this. This one's been on a absolutely a monstrous diet. This one's been bulking. Holy crap. I don't think I've ever seen Marg this big, but yeah, cool little find. Whoa! What the hell are you doing here? This is not what I expected to find tonight. Yellow striped racer and an adult with a crazy definition on that stripe. They usually lose a lot of their colour by this point, but this one's absolutely beautiful and not biting too. That's always nice. I mean, generally they're a lot less defensive at night when they can't see your face, hand, etc. so well, but yeah, I just saw this big snake coming out of the bush there. No idea what it was. Knew it wasn't a cobra, but I was like, what am I looking at? Thought it could have been a young python. I saw some markings on the side, but no. Third species of the night while changing between spots. Beautiful yellow striped racer. How cool. Let's see if we can get him onto, whoa, here we go. Come on. Problem with big snakes, impossible to film one-handed. Trying my best though, and sorry about the car noise. I forgot to turn it off. I was in such a rush to get out. Yeah. This guy's not going to be super cooperative for in-hands, but at least he was kind of still on the road and let us get a good look at him. Awesome color change on the body of these, getting towards actually jet black on the tail. Really nice to look at. Oh, is he about to bite my ear? Probably. He was crawling on my ear. Anyway, that's a good find. We got to continue to our next spot though, because we haven't got all night. Let's get to it. Anyway, back in the car, just let that racer cruise back off. Yeah, we're switching over to our fourth cave of the night. I didn't film anything at the last one, didn't turn out to be particularly good. Another big cavern as opposed to a smaller one, which is kind of what we're looking for. But we got 2 more caves to try tonight, so let's hit it. We got at least another hour out. We could probably do a lot longer, but we will have a significant drive back. But it's been okay so far. Let's see if we can pick it up with a couple more finds. Let's go. All right, site number 4 was a dud, so we've arrived at the last cave I have pinned. We're not sure exactly where it is. Maps just says it's here somewhere, so we're gonna get stuck in, see if we can locate it. If not, kind of game over for tonight, but let's see what we can do. Okay, on the way back to the car, I did get our 4th species of snake of the night, a very predictable one. Hatila prasina. Surprised we didn't see one already tonight. They're very, very common around like limestone karst formations and this kind of bushy, edgy habitat. And a lovely green individual here. Always nice to see one in this color morph. So vibrant. Nice that it's puffing out its neck too. That's what I call the digital pattern. Now, if you pay close attention to that, Hatila mycterizans does not have that. Similarly, it doesn't have such an elongated snout, which gives this one a very long look. But when they're this age, they look a lot more graceful than they do when they're older. They can get a bit, their nose grows out so big when they get older, they begin to look a bit goofy, scientific terminology. But at this point, they're really, really nice looking. What a beautiful snake. Probably going to be the last thing we see tonight, but just going to set him back in the bushes here. Another day, another hotel. Now we're down in Suratani province doing pretty much exactly the same thing. Climbing around limestone karst formations looking for rare kukri snakes. Didn't see it last night, but let's be honest, it was expected. This is a very rare species for a reason, and it may take us the best part of this whole trip to even have a chance at seeing it. But we're going to get out earlier tonight, give it a good shot, and I'm sure there'll be more red and green banded vipers knocking around and potentially some other cool stuff too. You never know. So let's skip ahead. Seconds after showing up, DOR venustus, I suppose from last night. Oh, a little squirrel just ran across the road. So pretty around here. Can't wait to get out in the forest. Absolutely beautiful. And the feeling of being in a new spot, believe me, not underrated. Just as the feeling of how great it is to be able to do this. I've said this before in videos, but to all that made it this far in the video, you're a real one. And believe me, the novelty of being able to do this day in, day out, to live out my dream out here, does not go unnoticed, does not go unappreciated. Look at this view. Even when I'm not finding snakes, I'm so unbelievably happy doing this. Just hiking around in this incredible environment with the prospect of finding exciting things with these beautiful views. Southern Thailand, man, it's the best, it really is. All right, you can see it's twilight now and I'm up amongst the rocks. Not much more to say, gonna get stuck in, 100% focus. Let's go, boys. All right, just before it got dark, it's still light out, but it's so dark in the spot I am that it's gonna look like nightfall. Is this little Trimeroceros venustus, a young male, well actually adult male, but with really, really nice strong patterning, really beautiful individual. He was just tucked up on the side of here. He moved a tiny bit since I saw him, since I kind of disturbed him rustling around in these leaves in my feet. I guess he was probably tucked into these side of these leaves and is now coming out to hunt at night. Gonna find a nice ambush position where he can pick off frogs and geckos, but I'm still grinding for that target, and I'm gonna be grinding for a few more hours, so let's keep it going. This snake crawling across the limestone rocks gave me a fright for a second. Thought it was what we were after, but no, it's just a common wolf snake. These guys are very common around these limestone karst formations, feeding on the geckos. This one's big too. It's kind of hidden up there. I'm not going to disturb him, absolutely no reason to. Not particularly interested in taking any pictures, any handheld photos, but yeah, wouldn't be surprised if this was not the last one of these we see tonight. And he seems to be disappearing into some crevice there. So I guess this is the last of him. But yeah, before it's totally dark, as you guys look and see up there, it's a couple seconds after that last clip. Only a few meters adjacent to that Capucinus is this very pale colored Hatila prasina. Yeah, I can turn the exposure down and you can see kind of its true color just changing, just transitioning from brown to green. He's getting settled down for the night and I'm not going to disturb him either. Just going to slowly back away, make sure he's not disturbed by me. Oh, accidentally zoomed in. All right, just spotted venustus number 2 of the night. And this one's in quite a cool in situ here, just against this rock and this abandoned building. It was just facing down towards this water bowl here, or this little plant pot that's filled with water, but now it's turned and looked the other way, which is kind of annoying. Let's see if we can zoom in and get some. Yeah, we can. This one looks like another female, I think. This one's slightly smaller than the second one, but really nice coloration on that one. Just gonna leave it in situ here, leave it be, and keep looking. Just got down to this area just littered with trash, and the first thing I thought was, there must be a venustus around here somewhere. Sure enough, I actually personally consider these to be a true trash snake. They really just love to hang about in twigs in these low ditches where just trash builds up in. It's so common to see them like this. This is, you know, I couldn't even count the amount of times I've seen venustus in this kind of place. But yeah, that's number 3 of the night, 3 adults, and I'm about to head in towards that cliff face there. So let's leave this guy in situ and get on that. So where that blue stuff is where the first trash Venustus was. And then I was like, before I go in, let me take a closer look around. And you guys can see in there, look, there's another one. I wonder if I can find a third one on camera, because this spot is just too good. Trash pile of destiny. A good old Venustus. All right, I've climbed up this cast a bit and just got a Venustus in situ ambushing. This time not in some pile of trash, actually in the forest. Looks like this one's got a big meal in its mid-body, so gotta stay well clear of it and keep moving. But just taking a momentary break. It's just turned into a Venustus fest this night. Nothing cool so far at all. But you know, that's to be expected. We're looking for a species which is extremely rare, and we're not going to give up for a while. So I'm back in it, boys. I'm back in. Just had another jump scare from one of these Lycodon capucinus crawling around. This is what I'm looking for, you know, a very glossy snake moving along the limestone wall. But yeah, just not one of these. All right, just cruise the snake in between spots. Little familiar fellow to some people on the channel. One of Thailand's undoubtedly most bitey snakes, and honestly a really unusual looking version. This is the Laotian wolf snake, and what's it doing with these white bands on its anterior? Especially that weird aberrant kind of like not properly conjoined band, or two joining to one there. I think that's like 4 bands back on the body. Really interesting little guy. Let me calm it down and then I can get a better look. Stop it. Stop it. Always this, man. Okay, here's a better look at this very interesting Lycodon laoensis. If you look at it closely now on my hand, you can see that it's got like a yellow stripe through those white bands on its neutral area on its neck. Really interesting little thing. I've honestly never seen one with this kind of patterning before, so it's cool to find something aberrant like this, you know, a species that's relatively common down here in this south. Not so common around Hua Hin, although we have seen a few in the time of making my videos, but yeah, very nice snake. Well guys, I got a kukri, but it's the wrong damn one again. Look, this is Oligodon taeniatus, which, by the way, this is only the second time I've ever seen this species. And what's interesting is this species is widely distributed in central and eastern Thailand, basically Bangkok and eastwards, and some northern areas too. But there's a couple like disjointed populations here in the south, presumed introduced. I mean, it matches taeniatus perfectly. You see no black bands on the tail, so obviously not Mahotai. It's got the watermelon venter, which matches, and of course the stripes on the side and the body is a very clear indicator of taeniatus. When I saw this thing moving, man, my heart skipped a beat. I was like, kukri! And I grabbed it, but I'm not like too disappointed to see this. I mean, it's I've been really wanting to see one of these around here to see if they're like just typical taeniatus, which from the looks of it is. And you know what? What's funny is actually this is a species I do need to photograph. Like I said, I've only ever seen it once before, and I took a couple rushed photos. This one's a different size, slightly different looking to that one, you know, a bit like more contrasty at this younger age. But hey, if this is the last snake we see tonight, then so be it. What a cool encounter. Check out this slow loris, just lounging around up in this oil palm tree, looking down at me. Dogs are barking, probably spooking him a bit, but they're far away. No worries, look at him. It's all the way up there. Not too high off the ground, to be honest. That's why we get a good view for once. Cute little mammals you see more or less every time you go into the jungle, if you've got a head torch. Not gonna lie, I got pretty bored of walking the same habitat over and over, so I came over to like, I don't know, some random trench to check around. I can actually see 2 snakes here. There's one bronze back over there and a second sleeping over there. Probably both Dendrolaphus pictus. Let's go take a closer look, find out exactly what they are. Southern pictus, typical pictus, carstic pictus. There's a few different like types floating around. So, oh God. All right, okay. I'm gonna try not to like lose them. There is a rock here which I can climb up, which is incredibly helpful. But these bronzebacks like to flee. Now, where is the first one? Crud. I feel like it was supposed to be. Everything looks so different now. Okay. Oh, there it is. That was fucking goofy. What the? I guess it's a juvenile. It hasn't like developed the stripes, but this one's looking where, yeah, definitely Pictus. I saw the like tail and the lack of black stripes. Oh, okay. Relax. Let me go get the big one now. Man, I'm so glad I put my camera away because this one would have 100% given me the slip if I didn't. Oh, I'm getting bitten by bugs because I had to wade through stuff. But yeah, it like threw itself off. And if I was holding the camera, my hand that I caught it with would have been completely unavailable. And I may have like lost my phone in these reeds as well. But I'm not really going to do much with this one. Just wanted to take a closer look, confirm its ID. Definitely Pictus. This one's got the clear black stripes. Ah, hold on, he's biting my neck. Just ants from the grass. Yeah, clear black stripes and very, very pictoid all around. Cool, nice to see 2 of these together. This may be the last snake of the night, but I'm going to keep walking around for a little bit. It's not even midnight yet. We're going to be wrapping up pretty early tonight, but pictoid. While leaving the site, I road cruised Mog. This one's got an orange collar, quite a vibrant one, not too pink, and it's fat too, possibly gravid. Mog. Cute little slug snake. Man, I can't escape snakes on my drive home. Just got my first ever Suratani Malayan pit viper. I got my first Satoon Malayan pit viper on this trip, and now first Suratani one. They're all more or less the same though. He's all a typical southern morph with the very pale patternless sides. This one's not too small either. You can see size there. It's maybe probably a breeding size male. Out cruising around, crossing the road in agricultural land, you know, as they do. Oh, he's moving off now.